Before we dive into the dark truth, smash that subscribe button, hit like, and comment if you dare, because what you're about to see inside San Quentin isn't for the faint of heart. The night air was thick with fog, carrying the distant echo of clanging metal and shouted orders. Officer Daniels crouched behind the cold, rusted bars of cell block D, heart hammering, eyes fixed on a shadow slipping through the narrow corridor. Somewhere in the gloom, a body lay hidden, the first clue to a nightmare that was only beginning. The man, known only as Hawks, was found crumpled on the concrete floor, a cryptic note clutched in his fist. No fingerprints, no witnesses, just the chilling words, "They're watching from inside." Detective Lara Hayes arrived just as the prison alarms screamed to life. The usual routine of lockups and head counts was in chaos, and she sensed instantly this was no ordinary incident. Among the inmates, whispers of betrayal and revenge carried like wildfire. Some swore they had seen Hawks talking to an unknown figure days earlier, a visitor with connections too close to the warden's office. As the investigation unfolded, every hallway, every shadowed cell seemed to hide secrets. The prison's notorious history of violence and corruption made it impossible to know who to trust. Guards were tense, inmates scared, and Hayes realized the danger wasn't just outside the walls, it was coming from within. And then, behind a heavily reinforced storage door, hidden in a pile of old records, she found it, a folder labeled Project Raven. Its contents were enough to shake the foundations of San Quentin itself. If you think this story was intense, you're not ready for the next one, hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Detective Lara Hayes barely had time to process the Project Raven folder before the prison descended further into chaos. The documents hinted at covert deals, hidden alliances, and a network of power extending far beyond the warden's office. Names were crossed out, coded phrases scattered across pages. Every line screamed danger. Whoever had orchestrated this wanted to keep it buried at all costs. Meanwhile, the inmates sensed the shift. Rumors spread like wildfire. Someone inside was feeding information to the outside world. Hayes' eyes scanned every face, searching for the mole, the one who could vanish at a moment's notice. Guards, normally iron-willed, now avoided eye contact, their loyalty teetering on the edge. Even the prison dogs seemed uneasy, their growls echoing in the dark corners. Then came the first attack. A young guard was ambushed in a supply corridor, left unconscious with a message carved into the wall. "Stop digging, or you'll join him." The warning was clear. The danger wasn't just physical, it was psychological. Every step Hayes took risked exposure. Every whispered conversation could betray her. The deeper she dug, the more she realized the tentacles of Project Raven reached far beyond San Quentin. There were financial trails, secret meetings, even unexplained disappearances dating back years. And when she traced one lead to a forgotten maintenance tunnel, she discovered a hidden camera, its lens still active, silently recording every move in cell block D. But the real shock came when Hayes uncovered the prison's visitor logs. One name kept appearing in the dead of night, the warden's own brother. His signature, alongside clandestine meetings with Hawks, revealed a betrayal that cut closer than anyone could imagine. As she stared at the logs, the realization hit her like a punch to the gut. Someone she trusted was orchestrating the chaos from the shadows. And that someone was closer than she could ever suspect. The air inside San Quentin had grown colder, heavier, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. Detective Lara Hayes moved silently through the maintenance tunnels, clutching the Project Raven folder like a lifeline. Every step echoed. Every shadow seemed alive. She knew she was being watched, and that the person behind the chaos could strike at any moment. Her phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "Stop now, or you won't see sunrise." But Hayes didn't flinch. She had come too far, seen too much, to back down. The tunnels opened into a hidden chamber beneath cell block D, where the air was thick with mildew and the remnants of forgotten schemes. And there, waiting with a smug, calculated smile, was the warden's brother. "You shouldn't have dug this deep," he said, eyes glinting in the dim light. "Some secrets are meant to stay buried." Hayes realized the depth of the betrayal. The warden's own family had been manipulating the prison, using inmates like pawns in a dangerous game of power and money. Hawks had stumbled onto the truth, and that had cost him his life. Before Hayes could react, a trap was triggered, the chamber door slammed shut, and surveillance monitors flickered to life, showing every movement she had made in the prison. It was a perfect setup. But Hayes had anticipated this. Using a hidden cell key she'd taken from an earlier investigation, she unlocked the door and confronted him. The struggle was brutal, tense, each second stretching into eternity. Finally, Hayes overpowered him and secured the evidence. The revelations from Project Raven exposed not only financial crimes, but a network of corruption stretching through law enforcement and prison officials. As authorities moved in, the warden's brother was taken away, his empire of deceit crumbling. Yet the final twist left Hayes frozen. In the folder, a photo showed a smiling figure in the visitor logs, a face she recognized. A trusted colleague, now missing. The file simply read, "The game isn't over." San Quentin had revealed its darkest secrets, but Hayes knew the shadows were far from gone.